What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Game Show presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my co-hosts, Josh and John Luke. There's two people down below today that aren't usually on stream. One by one, we've got a special guest joining us for Mock Draft Monday today, Jamie Calandro. He is a senior analyst and president of operations at Fantasy Team Advice and a DFS analyst for FF Diehards, and we are hyped to have him here today. What's up, Jamie?
How's it going, guys? Appreciate you having me on. I've been looking forward to this all week.
We're excited. We're excited. We're doing a Superflex Dynasty mock. It's been a little bit since we've done one of those. So, Swamp, if you're in the chat listening, you're in the draft. This one is Superflex and Dynasty. So you can draft Patrick Mahomes early if you would like. Just throwing that out there. Excuse me. Sorry. Also today, guys, we've got Eagle Dan FF joining us. What's up, Dan?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
This is your fifth time on the show? 100th time?
I believe it's about 5 or so. Yeah.
5?
I think you've completed your punch card. Guys, everyone
watching. I get a free sub now? That works.
You get a free JL. JL shows up at your house. It's a singing telegram.
That's the best thing I've ever gotten in my life.
Happy birthday,
everyone watching, guys. We do have a bit of an announcement, though. Dan, like JL said, has been on the show quite a few times. We've gotten very close with him over the past 6 months, year. Very close. And Dan will be joining the Front Yard Fantasy team. He'll be an official member of the Front Yard fam. So welcome to the team, Dan. We'll put an official announcement out, but this is to the people watching, they get to hear it first.
Josh, you need whenever we reveal someone has joined our team, we need to get like a custom jersey. You just you do the jersey reveal.
Dan! That could get really expensive.
Expensive, but you know.
I mean, because money if you want to make 100 people, right? Yeah,
exactly.
And a little bit of a teaser as well, guys. Dan and Jay, who joined our team a couple months back, they will be launching a show on Front Yard Fantasy as well in the coming weeks. So be on the lookout for a new show from Dan and Jay on the Front Yard Fantasy Network. We're so excited to have you guys, Dan.
Oh, yeah.
This is
we're so excited to be here. It's gonna be a lot of fun being able to be on a team. It's gonna be great. Can't wait.
David says, "Congrats, Eagle Dan." We got Jay Wall in here. Says, "We back. We are back." And then Z2, okay, you know what? I deserve all the mock draft review comments, everything in there. David said, "What happened to the mock draft review?" Z2 said, "Is this a mock draft review?" No, this is not a mock draft review, and the one for last week does not exist. I could make as many excuses as I wanted to, but all I'm going to do is give you the best one you've ever had this week instead. Jordan says, "Jamie for president?" Question mark. Are you running for? Is this your announcement that you're running for president, Jamie?
Of what? That depends, Jordan.
Everything. The universe.
Everything. Somebody else can have that job.
MDM.
Maria says, MDM mock draft Monday, and wow, yet again, Scott is first in the chat every single day. He's in here first. It's incredible.
Consistency.
What's up, Jordan says, "It took me a few to understand what MDM stood for. I figured it out, guys. Get Simon to fly to Maryland and all go to the Ravens versus Colts game." That's exactly what it stands for. It's a really shortened acronym, but you nailed it.
Yeah.
And David says, "Always a great Monday when we've got a mock with FYF." Yeah, we love our mock draft Mondays. And Josh, you're not invited. Sorry. Jordan just straight up said,
I know you want to meet my dog though, Jordan. So she can still show up. She'll hang out with you guys.
She'll drive.
Yeah.
What's up, Anthony? Welcome in. And what's up, we'll call you Vegan Anthony. What's up, Vegan Anthony? He said, "Ever since my wife found out I finished last in the Scott Fishbowl 100-yard dash, she refuses to be seen in public with me." That's fair, man. That was truly embarrassing. Maria says, "Welcome, Dan." Jordan says, "Dan the man," and Swamp says, "Let's go, Dan." Jordan with the congrats, Z2 with the congrats, Anthony with the congrats.
Oh my God.
And Burner of Stone back in here saying, "Greetings, fellow fantasy needs."
Yeah.
Fantasy needs.
We're all the needs here.
Ready to need out with all you guys.
Dan, and a congrats from Scott Fish as well, throwing your way.
Wow.
And Nick said, "I enjoy when Dan Turner is on the show." Burner of Stone said, "Nerds, I'll leave." No, stay and stick to needs. Stand by your guns.
Yeah.
And Jordan said, "Jamie for president of the Cool Kids Club."
That works.
That works.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Nick said sub Jail. Jail's not allowed in the Cool Kids Club, so you wouldn't have authority over him. But everyone else on the stream, I think you'd have.
It's pretty cool
over.
in there.
Very little
responsibility. I've heard great things.
See, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, guys. Everyone's already in the draft. Josh is going to be commentating said draft today. He's going to be the one going over the picks. He's not drafting with us, but let's look at where all of us are drafting from. Dan, you've got the 2 spot. That's where you are drafting from. Jamie, let's see, it looks like you've got the 6 spot, if I'm not mistaken. Then I'm at the 10, and JL is at the 12. So we've got Dan at the beginning, Jamie right in the middle, and then me and John Luke bringing up the rear. Everyone watching, we're about to get this started. Reminder, this is a Dynasty Superflex mock draft. The roster construction is quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, tight end, flex, and Superflex. So this is 2 wide receivers, 1 flex, 1 Superflex. And then we'll do 4 bench spots. Obviously, this isn't a full Dynasty draft. It would be way more than 12 rounds, but Jamie made us promise that we wouldn't keep him here for 6 hours for a full Dynasty startup. So we told him we can keep it to
Cool Kids Club has other responsibilities.
Gotta save the world.
Jordan said, I'm a Simon and JL sandwich. No, you're a Jordan sandwich, and we're the bread. Since when have you named a sandwich after the bread, Jordan? Like, come on. I guess maybe a sub. That's on sub bread,
a
right?
Wonder Bread sandwich, though. No one says that. It says a bologna sandwich.
No. Hoagie roll? I don't know.
He's not bad. I'm sure there's an example here. I'll think about it.
Well, let's spend the whole time just naming different types of sandwiches. Jamie, any sandwich contributions?
You know, ever since I moved to Maine, when sandwiches are so much worse than they were in New York, I've just lost the interest for them now.
I love the idea that you just anywhere you go and you get a sandwich, you're like, oh, it's not as good in New York.
Is a hot dog a sandwich mediocre. Or a taco?
Oh, don't just stop, Josh. Stop.
It's a hot dog.
Okay.
Get that out of here.
Okay. Gotcha.
I just want you guys to know the whole hot dog debate, fine. I'll tolerate it. Like, you can have that debate. It's fun. Yesterday, my girlfriend tried to tell me that a burger is not a sandwich. It's a burger. And that was where I drew the line. Like, a burger is a sandwich.
I see where she's coming from.
I can see it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see it. That doesn't mean it's right. Maria says Saquon jersey.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to find burgers if you'll just look up like different kinds of sandwiches, I bet.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Jamie, Maria loves your Saquon jersey. Giants fans saying props to that jersey.
Yeah, and I saw the Cooper jersey behind Simon there, so I don't know if we're going to come to blows at some point in this.
I'm not a Cowboys fan. Don't worry, just an Amari Cooper fan.
Okay,
I got you. I'm a Browns fan. There's a DJ Moore jersey on the other side. Those are just 2 of my favorite wide receivers. Those 2, Mike Evans, and those are my 3 guys. What's up, NBA? Welcome in. He said, "What up, beautiful folks of this stream?"
What up, NBA?
Hello.
Go.
And Jordan said, Jamie has to think of a creative way to put out emojis as a movie title.
I've abandoned that game for a while to do these Scott Fish Bowl division.
That's what I was going to say next. Is your division related songs have been awesome. For those of you that haven't checked out Jamie's Scott Fish songs, make sure you go check those out right now. Actually, in about 49 minutes, go check those out. But they're absolutely incredible. That's so much fun, Jamie, what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I will throw in, too, that the Saquon jersey serves twofold. Not only is it part of this, but the one song that I'm recording next is Saquon related. So I figured I'd have to wear the jersey today while I do it.
Love it.
A little teaser.
Thank you. Yeah.
Z2 says we all know who Simon will draft. Well, maybe I'll surprise you, Z2. Maybe it's not who you think it is, but it probably is. We'll see. Guys, we are about to get started. Before we do so, though, I want to remind everyone, if you want to go watch any of our previous mock drafts, or if you want to catch the elusive mock draft review that will be posted this week, then go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Hit that button, and you'll make sure you never miss another one of our videos or our live streams. Again, we're on YouTube at Front Yard Fantasy and Twitch at Front Yard Fantasy as well. And without further ado, let's start this draft. Z2, you've got the first pick. 1 minute on the clock.
Z2's going to screw it up. And he did, just like I expected. Yep,
Dan on the clock.
Dan going Josh Allen. That's easy pick for you, Dan. Yeah. Josh Allen, definitely your quarterback number 2, Superflex leagues.
Yeah.
Also, John Luke, Yo MCAT wants to know, can I get in that draft spot for group chat?
Yeah, DM me, dog. on Twitter.
Yeah,
That's simple.
DM him on
That's
Twitter
simple.
and he'll get you in there.
Yeah, those group chats are fantastic.
Oh, they're
They
so
are.
good.
Yeah, if you're in the Scott Fishbowl, make sure you're in those group chats.
I'm currently in a mock draft that has been going on for the better part of a week now, maybe half a week, and I'm really liking my team so far. I really wish it was an actual Scott Fishbowl draft.
I haven't done any mocks yet. Jamie, have you done any Scott Fish mocks?
Yep, I'm in one right now, and I was actually just talking to the people in my chat that Jameis Winston just went in the 14th round of it, which I thought was pretty
crazy,
insane value for him there. Oop, I'm on the clock here too.
That's absurd.
Yeah, the incompletions would definitely, I imagine, hurt him. That format, I think it's -1 for incompletion.
But the 14th round?
14th round is high. I mean, Taysom Hill went in like the 12th in my mock, and I was surprised. He went right before me. I was about to pick him. I got sniped.
Yeah, he went long before Winston too, which I thought was interesting. I mean, given the scoring system in the Scott Fishbowl, I can see, because you said the incompletions, but I mean, we don't know who's starting, and I think it's going to be Winston. I don't know about you guys, but
it seems like the logical place.
Yeah, it seems logical, but I'm done going logical with Sean Payton and Taysom Hill's relationship. Like I'm done trying to put logic in that situation. I think Jameis Winston should be the starter, but if I had to put money on it, I think Taysom Hill's the starting quarterback for the Saints. Sean Payton loves that man. So I think that I 100% agree that Jameis Winston makes more sense in every regard, but I'll go Taysom Hill.
In our mock draft, Jameis Winston went the 10.5, so 10th round, 5th pick. Taysom Hill went in the 12th round, 3rd pick. Very interesting. Very interesting, the variation there.
Yeah. I think mock drafts are good like basis, but the real Scott Fish never actually, follows anything we mock draft. Yeah, absolutely.
Also, Scott showing some shock with that Jameis Winston says huge eyes. What? I'm just imagining him doing that. Z2 said went 0 RB in his first Scott Fishbowl mock, and Mike Davis is his RB1. Oh no.
Oh no.
Honestly, that's in Scott Fishbowl, the way the rosters are set up, that's fine. You can compete with a team like that. I'm on the clock.
I think I have CEH and Chris Carson on my RB1 and 2. I got in the 4th and 5th round in my mock, and I was pretty happy with that.
Yep.
That's pretty solid for 4th and 5th round, yeah.
The question is, where is Pitts going to go?
Too high.
You think?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find where he went in mine here.
So we've had this draft kind of go like most of our other Dynasty Superflex mock draft goes. 3 running backs off the board. The rest of the first round's been quarterbacks. We'll see where JL goes here. But yeah, I think this is pretty typical for a Superflex startup. There's a couple of running backs maybe you could see sprinkled in here that haven't gotten picked yet. But for quarterbacks, maybe 1 or 2 left. I can't see who's available.
Yeah, it's I agree with you, Josh. This is pretty standard. I went a different route. Usually when I'm drafting at the end of the first round like this, I like to take Kelsey. I was going to say or any of the other tight ends. I just like to take Kelsey here. But I'm trying something different, seeing what my team looks like if I go a slightly different direction.
So you're saying you're not going to take Kelsey if he makes it back to you here?
I'm not saying that. We'll see. You know what? I'm not going to. I want to try something different.
Okay.
I always go tight end early in these. I'm going to try something else. I've been doing that this whole offseason. NBA wanted to know Jameis Winston or Darnold for next year. What do you guys think? Jamie, which one of these guys would you prefer? We'll say just next year, 2021.
I actually really like Darnold next year. I mean, when you think about, the receiving production that was sustained by Bridgewater in such a garbage year really for him, Darnold is still very young. And again, going back to that thing, we really don't know the utilization of the quarterback for the Saints, but I'm actually a fan of Darnold. He's been the one in these mocks that I've been kind of reaching even for a little bit as my 3rd QB. I don't know where you guys stand on him, but I actually, I'm not even just settling on him. I actually like him in Carolina with the weapons he has.
Yeah, I don't mind Darnold in Carolina. I am a little bit worried that it wasn't just that with Darnold, but this is a better situation by far. I don't think you could argue it's a worse situation for him in any way. And then the tiebreaker for for me is the fact that we're pretty certain he's going to be the starter there, whereas Jameis Winston, we just don't know. So I'm drafting Sam Darnold ahead of Jameis Winston. If Jameis Winston was named the starter, I'm drafting Jameis Winston, though.
Yeah, I would agree with that
Jameis
too.
Winston has all the upside in the world. It's so much more upside than Sam Darnold in my mind, but Sam Darnold's safer. We don't even know if Jameis Winston's going to be the starter. We just talked about that. I would expect him to be, but Taysom Hill's going to be involved, right? So that's going to take work away from him. If I knew Jameis Winston was going to be the starter, I think Simon just said that, I would go with Jameis Winston. I shoot for that upside, especially at the quarterback position, but I'm fine going with Sam Darnold if we're comparing the two, especially just for next year.
So Burner says Taysom going to get all the first downs. Yeah, if he's playing, Taysom could be a first down machine. And then Jordan said Swamp goes QB all the time in 1 QB leagues, and now Swamp goes running back.
Switch it up.
Couldn't pass on McCaffrey at the 4.
Yeah.
I really was going to say this, JL. Like, when you were up to pick, there was 2 people in my mind that could kind of go right there, and it was Saquon Barkley and Joe Burrow. And you took both of them. So I think you got really good value with both these guys. I mean, this is around where they should be going, but it's kind of like an end of a tier for both the quarterbacks and running backs.
I completely agree, Josh. I like Alvin Kamara. I would have considered him as well. But I do have a little bit of gap between him and Barkley. And so, and Burrow, I feel like there's definitely a tier gap. Like next QBs off the board, you got, maybe Aaron Rodgers, you got Trey Lance, rookies, Fields and Lance. But I feel like Burrow's the last just like solid QB1 guy that I'm hyped about.
If Burrow had fallen, that's what I was hoping I would fall. And Jamie, he's a Panthers fan. He likes your Darnold take.
Yep, I learned that one.
There you go. Burner of Stone said such good value. Saquon's going to go crazy. Mike T said Saquon at 12 is insane. Absolutely. Mike also said 1 QB Winston shooting for upside, 2 QB Darnold as a guaranteed starter. That's fair. 100% fair, man.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think the problem is with Winston, even if he does start, I mean, Taysom's going to have packages where he's going to be in the game. So,
for sure,
Winston isn't going to have that snap share that Darnold has.
Yeah. Yeah, even if he is the starter, right? Jordan said, Josh, if you go on your phone, you can click the Discord link. You can pull up the player pool. There you go. Then you can see all the players.
Thank you, Jordan.
Nick Chubb.
I appreciate it.
I almost went Nick Chubb with my pick. I was considering going running back, but it's Dynasty, and I held off.
That was a tough one for me there, too. I wanted to go Ridley over Hopkins there, but Dynasty, where the quarterback is in Atlanta in a couple of years, kind of swayed me the other way. That was a tough one, though.
Yeah, that's the hardest part for me with these Dynasty wide receiver rankings is figuring out not just like Ridley, but Ridley, Lamb, Jefferson, Brown, Metcalf. Like, at what point do I move them ahead of like the existing stud group, ahead of DeAndre Hopkins, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams? Like, I'm not quite there yet with most of those guys, but you could even throw CeeDee Lamb in that mix. Like, does CeeDee Lamb deserve to be drafted ahead of some of these established guys? But I don't know. That's tough for me. Kelsey at the end of the second. Holy cow.
Yeah, Dynasty League. I think he deserves to probably be in the third myself, but I wouldn't blame anyone for taking him early second, actually. In a redraft league, first round, end of first round. I'm all about it.
And then, then in the Scott Fish scoring, you could argue he's, well into the top 5.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
There goes Ridley.
Yeah.
2 wide receivers between. So you would have Ridley ahead of Diggs and Metcalf then as well. So it was between Hopkins and Ridley for you.
Yeah. I've been super high on Ridley. I'd consider Diggs in that area as well. I just love the Hopkins efficiency with Kyler Murray, who we know is there for a long time. I mean, you can make the same argument with Diggs as well, but just Hopkins' catch rate and in that offense where he's not going to lose as much of that, red zone stuff to their quarterback, maybe a little bit less, but I really like Hopkins. He's perpetually in my top 5 receivers just for his floor.
You're on the clock, Jamie.
Oop, I am on the clock. I know my pick here, though.
Devontae Adams falling all the way to 3.5 is insane value.
I almost took him where I took Tyreek Hill. Like, truly, if Aaron Rodgers we had the news that he was already back, I probably would have taken Adams.
Man, what
right
a value. People are so down on him because of this Aaron Rodgers news.
Yeah, that is a great draft for Arsenal.
So right now, who are you taking above Devontae? Or, like, who would you take Devontae Adams in front of? Terry McLaurin? Calvin Ridley?
Yep.
I would not.
I would take him in front of McLaurin, but not Ridley.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
So I think he really deserves to be going right around here, personally.
Really? I'll take him ahead of everyone on the board except for Tyreek Hill and A.J. Brown and DeAndre Hopkins, I think.
Yeah, I probably
But it's close. I think he's 4 behind those 3 guys for me. I just think he's unbelievable. Jay Wall said Terry over Adams. Just agreeing with you. Swamp taking the pick with Terry. You know what? I don't blame you, though. Terry McLaurin is unbelievably talented, and he's been doing what he's done with a mishmash at quarterback. And then, Jamie, to your point about D-Hop earlier, not only does he have Kyler Murray, like Stephon Diggs has Josh Allen, but we've seen D-Hop do it with, like, scraps. Like, he's been a top 12 wide receiver with nothing at quarterback, with like a ham sandwich throwing him the ball. Tom Savage, right? He's had some pretty bad quarterbacks back there. But he can do it regardless. So that puts him up, bumps him up a notch for me, because we've seen Diggs not be that with a different quarterback. It was a different team, but I'll take Hopkins ahead of Diggs.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, and you know, when I'm drafting, the DFS cash game player always comes out in me too. That, you know, I love the home run plays later on, but I like drafting for floor and safety, and, like, you know, who is safer than Hopkins as a receiver? Like, I know what I'm getting, and that's what I like in those first 2 rounds.
Completely agree.
So we are coming back to the end of the 3rd round here, guys. And man, we're starting to see finally some wide receivers come off the board. We haven't seen a quarterback come off the board since the middle of the 2nd round. Jamie, I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about, you know, the 1st round being completely filled with just running backs and quarterbacks? Does that surprise you in any way? Because I know a couple of years ago, I don't think it was quite like this. I think a lot more wide receivers were pushed up, especially for dynasty leagues.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, though. I mean, you know, just considering, you know, what the mock drafts have done in this off season right now, you can see that, you know, especially in these startup things, the quarterback and running back are just so elevated, and, like, the running backs fall off a cliff eventually, and, you know, the receivers, the depth there is in a passing league now is just so good. Like, you know, I love the guys that I'm getting even in redraft and dynasty in the 5th, 6th round. So, I mean, Hopkins I felt was too good value to pass up, but I'm fine just waiting and packing in those quarterbacks and running backs early on.
No doubt. And I completely agree. The value 6th, 7th, 8th round, you're going to get receivers that maybe haven't proven it, but they have so much upside. They're young, and we kind of expect them to produce, especially in a super flex league like this, right?
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure.
And we had Kyle Pitts come off the board as the 2nd overall tight end, guys. Oh my lord.
I was looking for him just for fun. I was going to take him. I would usually go at least Waller ahead of him, but I was considering taking Pitts right there. Just for
Waller
fun.
Guy.
Just for the talk.
But you are the first person to take 2 quarterbacks, Simon.
I am. I saw Justin Fields sitting there in the 3rd round. I thought that was great value for a 1st round quarterback we assume to be the starter with pretty good weapons on a good team. Like, the offseason was wild because it felt like you had to choose a side, like Justin Fields truther or not. Like, it was like aggressive. It was like either you had Justin Fields as your number 1 overall quarterback or you hated him. But I like Justin Fields. He just wasn't my number 1 overall quarterback. And so now I'm glad it's died down a little bit. He's in a good situation. And I'm got no problem drafting him in the 3rd.
Yeah. Look at your 2 quarterbacks there.
Yeah. A lot of question marks. That definitely makes me nervous, but high upside, right? That's high risk.
Yeah.
Way to start the draft.
With that. Nothing wrong with that.
And then JL coming picking George Kittle at the last pick of the 3rd round. I think that's pretty good value myself. I know some people don't love Kittle, but I'm a pretty big fan, especially Dynasty.
And Burner likes your Trey Lance. Kittle. He's asking you to get Trey Lance. He says
Trey Lance was picked in the 2nd round, actually, Burner, believe it or not. Yeah.
Jay Wall saying that as well. Also, Jay Wall said he loved your Allen Diggs stack, Dan. That is pretty nice sitting right there.
I like it as well.
I like it too. Yeah, there's some good teams so far.
Josh Allen.
And NBA Saint Shannon is going to open his playbook for the first time this season. Trey Lance 2021 show. And Burner said, "I'll leave." No, stay. How many times do we have to beg you to stay, Burner? It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes.
I've never made
Jordan, you son of a gun.
There goes Waller.
Yeah. The fourth TE off the board. That's crazy.
Yeah. So there's definitely like a top 4, right? Well, Simon, you just said you would take Pitt second this draft just for fun.
I was going to do it just for fun. Waller's my number 2. It goes Kelsey Waller, Dynasty and redraft.
Yeah.
Where did Pitts go in your
kind of at a tier?
Where did Pitts go in your SFB mocks? I found him at 310 in the one I'm in now.
I think I got him
4th round for me.
Yeah. 3.9 for me. I actually was the one that drafted him, so I felt like that was pretty good value, and with the tight end premium boost there.
Yeah, I agree.
Where do I want to go?
I thought I was going to have to reach on him in the second. Honestly, I thought that he would probably go early 3rd or late 2nd. I was very surprised he fell to the back of the 3rd.
Did Hawkinson go ahead of him or behind him? He been a fun one.
Behind him at 4.6.
Wow.
Yep, Kittle and Waller both went in the 2nd. Kelsey went at the 1.3. It'll be interesting to see where Kelsey goes. I feel like that will vary based on division.
Yes, for sure.
I just know I'm probably not getting him drafting at the 12. I think there's zero chance Kelsey ever makes it to me at the 12.
I think
makes me a little sad.
Top 6 or so quarterbacks, someone's going to take a shot at Kelsey like at 1.7, 1.8.
100%.
I'm hoping he falls to 9 for me.
Yeah. If he does, that'd be great.
Jordan says he loves his team. Where's Jordan's
team?
I
wanted to ask you, Jay. It seems like you maybe I misread you there, but would you prefer Hawkinson over Kyle Pitts in like the Scott Fishbowl format?
I've honestly been back and forth on that.
Okay.
That's been a tough one. In all the rankings that I do, I keep changing them back and forth, like 4 and 5. Yeah, ultimately, I have been leaning Pitts over Hawkinson now, just based on
the upside, right?
Yeah, the upside and the offense too. Like the Atlanta offense, we know is always top 5 in passing plays per game, and I don't really expect that to change with Julio gone. So I mean, yeah, he seems to be the one that I've been leaning, but I don't argue Hawkinson over him, given that he's really the only guy there in the passing game right now.
Seriously. And then is Andrews kind of a step down, pretty big step, you would say, or?
I do have him. I do have him pretty significantly below the other two, but I did also take him in this Scott Fish mock draft that I'm in. But I think I got good value for him. Where am I? I got him at 508 in that one.
That's great value.
In that
I'm not an Andrews guy either, but I would draft him there as well if he was sitting there at the 5.8 for sure. I agree with you though. In redraft for me, Hawk is ahead of Pitts, and it's just my aversion to rookie tight ends. Not just my aversion, the historically backed aversion to rookie tight ends, no matter how generational they are. I'm just going to take Hawk and what I view as like guaranteed volume over Pitts in Atlanta for this year. Dynasty, grab yourself some Kyle Pitts though, in my mind.
Yeah.
I will not have Kyle Pitts in my redraft leagues. I have a pretty good feeling about that.
I'm sorry.
I have a weird little feeling about it, but in Dynasty, I am willing to pay up.
Also, J-Wall, Burner, this is for you. He said, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. From the great philosopher, Hannah Montana. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody gets that way, Burner.
Scott. Yeah, it was a poor decision to take a shot every time I heard my Scott is loaded right now.
Scott.
His kids are going to get home and be like, Daddy, why are you all wobbly?
He's not going to be standing after this show.
Yeah.
Yo,
Scott Fish.
Dan just walked away, but oh my Lord, him coming. Oh, wow. His team is looking really good. Dan, I don't know if you hear me here. But
nice job on your running backs there.
Stephon Diggs, Calvin Ridley, and to finish it up with
love that Mixon.
Miles Sanders and Mixon. Wow. That's a good starting lineup.
I'm back in on Mixon too.
Yeah, I made a mistake. I was considering Aaron Jones or
never
Mixon
left
at the 4-1 and I'm regretting it now. Should have went Mixon.
It's obvious I don't like Mixon. It's a well-known fact, but him at the 5th round with that kind of volume he's getting, I can't pass him up.
Yeah.
Sean Watson at the 5.5. Where did he go? I mean, SFB is obviously not Dynasty, so it's a little different. Yeah. But where did he go in your SFB mocks? I I think he lasts till like the 10th round in mine.
14th.
14th. Wow.
I gotta find him. It was far though. it was at least 12th or 13th. I'm
Quite
scrolling right now. Yep. There he is. 1304.
That's wild.
Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense, right? That
one pick after Mac Jones.
I guess that's the range. Like, if you ask me which one I would rather have in redraft next year, that's a real question, which is crazy. Jordan says on a podcast with McVay and Arthur Smith, McVay told Arthur Smith that if Kyle Pitts doesn't have 1,600 yards, Arthur Smith sucks.
What podcast is that?
I love that energy.
Right?
Yeah. It sounds like a cool thing to listen to. I want to check that out, actually, if you know what podcast that is. Oh, we have a little bit more of a quarterback run happening here in the fifth round. The fifth round started out with Keenan Allen, Joe Mixon, Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin. We still have really good guys here in the fifth. You know, we were talking about it earlier, Jamie, but the wide receivers here are still strong. The running backs are starting to dry up. There's still a couple that are worth picking, but they are really looking thin right now. But we had some quarterbacks: Deshaun Watson, Tannehill, Zach Wilson, Jalen Hurts. I'm sure you like that value on Jalen Hurts, huh, Dan?
Yes, I do. As I'm a bit of a homer pick, but I love Hurts. I think that he's going to have his offense built around him. Like last year was.
Simon, you're on the clock, by the way.
Terrible.
I know.
Terrible excuse of an offense for the Eagles, but I think with the system he's going to have in place, his completion percentage is going to go up. Some more dump offs for the running backs, getting Gainwell and Smith in the draft. I think he's poised to have a big year. Yeah,
I would concur. I mean, that rushing upside is really what's going to send him through the roof too. How many he averaged, like, I think second most rushes per game last year as the starter. So he's going to be running around a lot.
Yeah. And everyone talked about his completion percentage and how low it was, but he still averaged, like, I think almost 24 fantasy points a game, even with 50% throwing. So if he improves on that at all, I mean, you're looking at a big season from him.
Yeah. And he's only gotten upgrades to his receivers. So I would expect a better season at the very least. And for a rushing quarterback, this is good value.
Yeah.
So Jordan says it was the Flying Coach podcast and said it was so sick. McVay and Arthur Smith are great dudes. So write that down if you want to check it out. Kev says, sup, NBA. And what's up, Kev? He came in with a bird up earlier. Not sure if I said it. And NBA says for Superflex, you cannot pair a better QB than stud rookies equals Trey Lance plus Zach Wilson. I will say, Jamie, you said something about it earlier. It is a higher risk strategy, but there can be value found on rookie quarterbacks in these startups. But could also just get a complete flop. You could draft Josh Rosen. So you got to be careful. It's a high risk, but potential high value strategy.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a little bit wary of rookies, but I mean, just given Lawrence and Fields' profile and the offense they're going into, I mean, I think both are going to succeed. And in this setting, I'd be fine if they were my first two. I'd probably, if I were Simon there, grab a veteran in one of the next couple of rounds as well. But I mean, Lawrence and Fields in a dynasty, you could be setting yourself up to be winning the league every year with that, especially with the receivers he's got.
Let's see. Jail, I didn't see you just took Deontay Johnson. You son of a gun. I had him queued up, ready to go, and I was like, where did he go?
This that Aaron Rodgers pick is like the biggest mistake of my life. Now looking at it, just the way that this board is playing out, I regret it. I fully regret it because Deontay Johnson, I like it. I love him as a wide receiver. One, he's definitely a little scary. I think I'll be able to get some value back at wide receiver in the later parts of this draft, but man, I could have had either another running back or top tier wide receiver, and there's still still solid QB talent. Matt Stafford went after my picks, so I could have gone him or Tua. Still there,
Michael
Baker.
Thomas,
there's plenty of value.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really good point, JL. Like taking, let's say, Michael Thomas instead of Aaron Rodgers there, and instead of Deontay Johnson, you take Matt Stafford. So who would you rather have, Matt Stafford and Michael Thomas, or Aaron Rodgers and Deontay Johnson?
Right.
It's not too far apart, I guess, but we need Aaron Rodgers to play, first of all, right?
Right. Or I couldn't have even waited and gotten, maybe I don't go Matt Stafford there. Maybe I keep it going another round and pick up a Tom Brady if he comes to me, or a Baker Mayfield if he drops. Carson Wentz, and probably would have been all right. I think that QB tight end in the first 4 rounds tells me I probably shouldn't go double QB then.
Yeah.
But that's why we mock.
It's going to be tough to build out your team if 3 of your first 4 picks are quarterbacks and a tight end. That'll be tough for sure.
We should get that on a t-shirt. That's why we mock.
That's why we mock. Oh, I thought you meant everything I just said. And I'm like, that's a lot of text for a t-shirt.
That would be a funny t-shirt, though. Someone reads it all. They're like, oh, I agree.
Anthony said Josh didn't try 0 RB again. Josh isn't even drafting. That was so traumatic for him. He said, I'm out of here.
Well, I guess that is technically 0 RB.
Yeah, and 0 wide receiver, 0 quarterback. Burner said Hurts is going to be good for fantasy. IDK about how good he's going to be for the Eagles. Dan, what do you think? Oh,
so
we said one thing about Jalen Hurts.
Josh Jacobs is going too late, in my opinion.
Yes.
I don't know how you guys feel about it.
I drafted him instead of Judy right there. That was I couldn't believe he was still there, but
I was thinking
if I was you with your team, Simon, I absolutely would have drafted Josh Jacobs. But I know how you like to build your teams, your dynasty teams especially. You like to build up that wide receiver depth, and then do what you will, make some trades. Year
1 might be rough, but it builds such a solid foundation for your team. Now you have to be careful not to get caught in that limbo, right? You have to recognize like, okay, this team sucks, and I need to completely blow it up, or like I have all the pieces, I just need to add a running back, figure out how to get that done. But yeah, I agree that that's how I like to build those teams, but you got to be careful. Being like in the middle is the worst place you can be in a dynasty league.
Yes.
Man, Dan, I wanted to say. Burner said Deontay and his 87 targets a game. Yeah, he should be heavily targeted this year.
Then his 42 drops a game. I think his drop problem's a little overblown, but it was really serious for a couple weeks there. Very serious.
I had this conversation with JL the other day about how I was like, I'm trying to like get rid of a lot of these biases that I have towards specific players. And whenever I use something for one player, I need to be willing to apply it to another. And I'm so willing and ready to forgive Jerry Jeudy's drops from this past year. Like, and I know it's Drew Lock throwing him the ball, but I still fully believe in Jerry Jeudy. And like, I was taking a look, why do I not have that same faith that Deontay Johnson can fix his drop issues when I think he's a great wide receiver. So I've been moving up on DJ recently, but I'm not sure how high I'll get him. I'm still trying to overcome that bias.
That's one of those things that's easily coachable too. There's a couple of things that the skill players make the mistakes of that can be fixed with a good coach, like running back fumbling issues. You just teach him to carry the ball higher. Like I'm thinking of Tiki Barber being a Giants fan when Tom Coughlin took over that team and just fixed that. You get a good wide receiver coach and a good offensive coordinator that really just run you through the reps of catch efficiency, and he can fix that. Right? Yeah,
exactly. So let me ask you, Jamie. I love asking this question. It's one of my favorite questions that's going on with fantasy right now. But the Steelers wide receivers from a dynasty context, what do you think about those guys? Are you taking Deontay Johnson first in dynasty? Chase Claypool, Juju Smith-Schuster? I have trouble with this question myself.
Well, this is a bad time to ask me this question because I have one of them on my queue.
Oh, I am sorry. Sir.
I could have just sat. It's a mock, so I could have just sat in silence and answer your question there.
What are you talking about?
I'm over the industry, first of all, on all 3, I think, Pittsburgh receivers. I do have Claypool first of the 3 of them in Dynasty. I'm a huge Claypool fan this year and beyond.
There goes Claypool. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, right. I'm just looking to, and I've said this on our show with Scott Simpson, and I've written about it, that there's just so many metrics that are pointing him in the right direction. Just his yards per target and his yards after catch. And I knew that was going to happen.
I'm so sorry, Jamie. I did it to you. You can blame me.
I'm taking the other one right now because I had him 1 and 2 there.
Yes. So you say you're higher on all 3 than you think than the industry consensus, you would say?
Yes, I think the industry is too down on them because of the narrative of how bad Roethlisberger looked, which is fair. He looked like he was a dead man walking for a while there. But when you consider last year that he still finished QB 14, all 3 of those guys still were top 25 or above in fantasy points per game. I think the promotion of his name is escaping me right now, but I think it was the quarterback's coach who is now the offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh. Like, they credited him with all of Claypool's gadget plays last year and the way they got him in space. Like, I've stamped this year that I think Claypool is this year's DK Metcalf, and that's how we're going to be talking about him next year. So I would have taken him there in that round, but I like Juju as well. He's the floor guy. I think, this is a 1-year deal. He could wind up in an even better situation next year than the Pittsburgh quarterback situation. So I'm perfectly fine with him there as well.
I fully expect him to move on next year and really open up targets for Claypool and Deontay Johnson and Juju himself, because he'll be in a new situation. They'll be the main two guys going into next season. And this is a dynasty league, so that's what we're looking for. I think I'm kind of with you where I am slightly above the consensus on all these guys, but I can't determine which one I like the most. They're all a tier essentially for me as well, which is weird.
Yeah, it is tough. I do think I would, if all three of them were staring me in the face at that pick for some reason, I would have taken Deontay first just because of the targets that you guys mentioned. I mean, he was top 5 in targets last year. You can't, you can't argue against that. So, or it happening again. So yeah, I would definitely probably put him right at the top of that very close tier.
Let's see which
Maria
one
said Dan had the shortest FYF career. It was good while it lasted.
Yeah, that was fun while it lasted, Dan.
He lost power. He'll be back soon.
I have Chase Claypool ranked as my number 1. Deontay is my number 2. Juju is my number 3. And there's just one wide receiver in the middle of the two, all three of them for Dynasty. What did Jordan do to you?
Simon and Jordan took both of my queued up picks.
Woods.
While JL's stressing over his pick, NBA had a question for you, Jamie. He said Carson is 26 with tread on the tire. Why him and Dynasty? And then it looks like he would have preferred Kareem Hunt. So Chris Carson over Kareem Hunt. Is that how you have him ranked
this year?
Yeah. I didn't like that Carson pick that I made, to be fair. This was a point of me filling out my running backs with floor. In retrospect, I think I would have preferred actually Trey Sermon in this setting to him, who still hasn't gone yet, who I might be giving away another pick there. Hunt, I'm back and forth on. I mean, just depending on where he goes, we saw a real big lack of efficiency with him as the guy last year when Chubb was down. And I like him as a complimentary player too. I don't have him ahead of Carson just because I like the guaranteed touches there. But I don't like the Carson pick that much either there. In retrospect, I wish I had gone somewhere else.
There goes Trey Sermon. You said it. Yeah. Jordan's just messing with you at this point. But I don't mind Chris Carson, especially as your third running back in Dynasty behind Ezekiel Elliott and Austin Eckler. Maybe if he was your RB1, but your team looks like a competitor year 1 with that. Like Chris Carson is going to be killer this year. He's going to be awesome.
I have Chris Carson ranked above Kareem Hunt and all the guys behind him, actually. So I think that's exactly where Chris Carson deserves to go, myself.
And Jamie, I did what you said earlier. I drafted Tom Brady. Got that veteran in there. That should, if one of these guys isn't the starter right away, so I can start Tom Brady.
Tom Brady is the guy that came to my mind, Simon, when Jamie mentioned draft day veteran quarterback later. I was like, I almost said, Tom Brady.
Yep, that was. You kind of got to do that when you start the draft, like I do. Get some security at the quarterback position. Welcome back, Dan. Welcome back. Maria. Maria said before we do that, guys said that's too bad. I know Jalen and Simon said at FSGA they were grooming Dan to be Josh's replacement.
We're gonna have to find someone else now.
Yeah.
I mean,
open applications.
I'm hoping to groom him a little bit too. I'm doing his hair and stuff, so he's looking good. He's looking good. He's gonna be good for the show.
Fantastic. Did his makeup.
Also, Jordan said drop issues for wide receivers don't worry me. They are so year to year. There's so much that goes into it. And then Jordan said, is Claypool taking off his shirt and shaking Mike Tomlin's hand, though? Who did that? Which one's taking off their shirt and shaking his hand?
Didn't Pete Carroll do
that one? Oh, I'm on the clock. Crap.
When DK Metcalf came into the
don't mess it up.
The room.
And then Anthony said Juju is the answer to Josh's question. Ben may retire and Juju is on a 1-year deal. And Z2 saying Simon 0 RB. Yes, I am going full on 0 RB with this one. We're through 8 rounds, no running backs on my team yet. And then Jordan said to blame me for his Sutton pick. I'm guessing he was targeting Robert Woods right there.
Yeah.
And he said Sermon was number 1 in his queue. so he didn't add him there. We can believe him if we want, but we'll see.
I feel like Jamie and I are both building like year one teams, like solid, not too much like focusing too much on age or getting too young of a team, but solid this year teams.
That's generally how I draft dynasty startups.
Yeah.
In any sport,
I want to win. I want to win. That's what it comes down to.
For me,
so I want to ask you guys real fast. No, go ahead, Simon.
I was going to say it's the wide receivers for me that always get me. I know I went a little different with T. Higgins and Judy here, but like the value on like guys like Michael Thomas and Robert Woods, these 27, 28, 29-year-old wide receivers, it's insane. Like they're going to be productive for another 3 years. Like I just love the value on these, like not old wide receivers, but just not the young guns, not the 21, 22-year-olds. Those are my favorite.
We're not having
guys
a running back, Simon. I really like your team.
We'll see. We got to shape something together with the running backs, but we'll see what that looks like.
We're not having a running back. Am I going to pick your team to win year one right now? Hell no. Hell no. But hey, anything can happen. You can make some trades. Some injuries could happen.
Also, NBA wants to know about Trey Sermon. I think maybe Trey Sermon's in San Francisco, not in Denver. But Jamie, how do you view Trey Sermon's carries breaking down?
Javonte Williams.
I think he might be asking about Javonte.
You think he's asking about Javonte?
Yeah, because he brought up Melvin.
Okay. Well, I'll answer your question. I mean, I like taking both of them around this time. I think that Sermon has a lot of long-term upside that I really like in that system. Shanahan knows how to utilize a running game. I don't buy any of the existing running backs that they have other than Mostert, who I think is gone soon. I don't necessarily know that Sermon will take over this year, but if I'm drafting in this dynasty format, I like him better than Javonte Williams. Javonte, I think, has the quicker path to a role than Sermon does. So, I mean, that depends how you want to draft these things. If like you're going for right now, I think Javonte is the guy. Sermon is better long-term in my eyes, though.
Good pick, Dan.
Thank you.
Yeah. He was on my list.
Crappy pick, Dan. Crappy pick.
I know.
All the upside.
It'll make me feel better. Power.
I'm very glad I went Tom Brady when I did, though, because I thought about waiting another round, and I would have been just out of luck. So, that would have been rough.
I do like getting Odell there, though, Dan. By the way,
it's amazing that
that's the time to pull.
4 years ago, he was like literally the wide receiver one in Dynasty, and now he's in the ninth round. I'm like, okay.
I was looking at Mac Jones. I thought they were saying nice pick with Mac Jones. OBJ, killer pick. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. I'm not like relying on him. I'm not relying on him, but he has all the talent in the world, and if things pan out, he could be that guy once again.
So I've successfully stacked every receiver quarterback on my team.
Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley, OBJ, really cool. Baker Mayfield. Look at those stacks. Dan, the stack man, Taylor. Dan, if OBJ and Jarvis Landry both play 16 games next year, who finishes with more fantasy points in your eyes?
Jordan, take a quarterback so I can really like your team.
If both stay healthy, probably OBJ still.
OBJ, you think so?
I think so. I think he's not, the guy that he was a couple of years ago, but he's not like 34 either. He's only 28. Yeah. I know in fantasy, once you get past like 25, everyone is just dead. Their legs fall off and they can't catch anymore and all that stuff. But I think he can still be, he's still the wide receiver one there in Cleveland. So I think he definitely can, and as my third receiver, he can do a lot of good things there.
Absolutely. What do you guys think? OBJ or Jarvis if they both play 16 games?
OBJ. But that's the whole thing. Like he's by far the more likely one to get injured, and if he does, Jarvis is the guy. I mean, he's a lot more valuable. He had injuries last year, Jarvis himself, but he played through them. If he's healthy and out there playing without Odell, he's going to have a really good season.
Yeah.
There we go.
Absolutely.
Good pick, Jordan.
And, dang it, it's auto-picked.
Yeah, but that was a good pick, actually.
Good pick, computer.
Yeah.
Jordan, not your brother. Other Jordan wants to know which team gives you a chub, Josh.
And I'm so happy you asked me this now, and it's the team with Chubb, Nick Chubb. It's JFew928. I'm serious. Like, I love this team. It's my brother. So maybe I'm being biased. Yeah, whatever. This is the first time I've ever called him out. He's in all these drafts typically. So good job, Jordan. Finally. But Justin Herbert, Nick Chubb, CeeDee Lamb, Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the 4th, Mike Evans in the 5th, Josh Jacobs in the 6th. Jalen Waddle, Tyler Lockett.
I was really hoping you'd continue the cadence to just keep going up against every round.
This team is just finding values, I think, at every draft spot, in my opinion. Maybe not Nick Chubb, Justin Herbert's right where he deserves, but I don't know. I really like his team so far.
It's a nice mix of like win now and win later, I think, too.
And sometimes you don't want to do that, but it's just, I like it. I think it could win now and be relevant in a few years.
Yep.
But sometimes you do want to decide which one you're going to do, right? You want to be like, okay, I'm going to win now, or I'm going to, punt a little bit and make sure I am good in a couple of years. But
he does both.
Why can't you have both?
Why can't you have both?
Antonio Brown coming off the board here, guys. How do you feel about Antonio Brown?
Good.
This upcoming season.
I mean, I think he's gonna get volume like in that offense. That's a great offense. Tom Brady's still throwing him the ball. Like, he's not a wide receiver 1, but he should be startable like almost every week in fantasy this upcoming season. I think he's a great wide receiver 2 or 3 on your team.
I think it means he's a great, amazing value in redraft leagues.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And after he joined them in week 9, he finished as wide receiver 38 in fantasy. So he was almost a wide receiver 3. And, over the final
joining mid-season.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's closer to Edwins. Kind of fused them for a hybrid. Edwin and Godwin. Godvins, yes.
Also, Jordan clarifying his comment earlier about taking off his shirt. He said DK Metcalf did that with Pete Carroll.
That's
it was
what I said.
While Jamie said Claypool ZK. You guys said it. You called it. And Jordan said, Josh, I thought you were talking about me. He's not even the best Jordan in this draft.
I said Jordan drafted quarterback so I can really like your team, and then he drafted Carson Wentz. I was like, you did it, Jordan. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Accidentally did it.
Yeah.
Does he even watch, Josh, or does he just draft with us?
He typically watches, but maybe he's at work and like on his phone, and I don't know. I'm only doing drafts. I'm not sure.
Dan, I love the team you've put together over there. I really like that team. The running backs in rounds 4 and 5 that you managed to land after starting with that quarterback and those receivers is I would be so happy with my team if this was a real dynasty startup and I had the team you had.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it. I was surprised seeing how it was going around like the second and third round, where you see like the running backs were drying up, but not so much that I thought I couldn't get like the 2 that I got. So I was really happy that they both made it there.
There goes Rashad Bateman.
God, I really hope he does just incredible this year.
He is an incredible receiver.
I want that in my bones so bad.
He's
just
a very good receiver.
Every part of me wants him to be good this year.
Are you worried about the volume in Baltimore, Jamie?
Yes, but at this point in the draft, I think I'm set enough that I can take that shot now. I wanted Michael Carter. I was ready to press the button, and I didn't see that he had gone.
I would have taken him right after that pick if Monkey King 42 did, and that's the guy I had in my queue.
Yeah.
Seemed like the perfect running back for my team.
I know.
So NBA Rig came in and said, Marquise Brown, isn't he Baltimore's number 1 receiver? Why would he negatively regress this season? And I think that Marquise Brown can actually progress, become a better receiver, but maybe not for fantasy. He has a role. He's a speed guy. They're going to take a lot of shots deep. I've said this many times where I could see very easily where Marquise Brown has the most yards for the Ravens, Rashad Bateman has the most catches, and Mark Andrews has the most touchdowns. So if he's splitting those receptions, splitting those targets with someone else, that's not a good thing for fantasy.
I'm worried about Andrews for that exact reason. It's like if we see a shift in opportunity for him where, his value, the floor might fall out from under him. And that I have him on so many dynasty teams. I'm definitely concerned about that.
Yeah.
Marquise Brown is a best ball guy for me. I'm not really into him anywhere else other than that. It's just too
100%
inconsistent.
agree.
Yeah.
He's going to be a great best ball guy, though. I
Yeah.
believe that. He's going to have 4 or 5 weeks that he blows up this upcoming season.
Yeah, and
But
if they
then
use
he'll have
him,
4 or 5 where he has like 2 catches for 30 yards.
if they use him like what he's prototypically like supposed to be used for, I think he's going to do much better. In the past, they just have been trying to use him as like an every receiver, and I don't think. Hopefully, with Bateman there and a few other options, they're going to put him into a more specific role, and that will be like hopefully yield some more consistency in fantasy. It's a big if, right? But
he's fantastic at exploiting broken coverage, but he's not great at creating opportunities himself. So hopefully having some more weapons on the field will create more opportunities like that for him, where it's not just Marquise Brown being covered. You disagree, Josh?
Oh, no.
Gotcha.
I was actually reading NBA Rigs next how many more pass attempts will Lamar Jackson have this year compared to last? And it's just a hard question to answer.
We hope more.
I do think they'll have more. Jordan brings up a good point here, and I was going to say something similar. He says, I know that the volume hasn't been there, but if you were the OC and you saw Snead, Hollywood, Boykin, and Dez, would you pass the ball a ton? No. And they said they wanted to throw the ball more this year, and everything they've done says that they mean that. They signed Sammy. They drafted Rashad Bateman. Like, I truly believe that they do want to throw the ball more this year, but we'll just see how that works out.
And
but
Jordan,
I don't think it's going to be
with
anything dramatic.
No, I completely agree with you, Simon.
Well, there's one more game in the season. He missed 1 or 2 games last year. He'll have more passing attempts. I'm just looking at actually how many he had this year real fast. So he had 376 attempts the past season, and he had 401 his MVP season. I fully expect him to have over 400 passing attempts this upcoming season. So
How many did he have last year again, did you say?
376.
376. Yeah, I think he has over 400 this year. Burner Stone says Devin Duvernay doesn't get enough respect. We're throwing disrespect on Duvernay.
You're probably right. You're probably right. But like, what are we supposed to do in a fantasy context? I'm not touching him really in anything fantasy related. I just don't feel like you can rely on him.
Unless it's like a super deep 14-team league or something like that, where you got to start like.
If we were drafting a full dynasty league, like I bet you he's winding up on a team. If it's a deep league, we have deep rosters, but he might have 1 or 2 good weeks, and he's going to be maybe fielding some punts and kick returns, stuff like that. But he's a better NFL player, I think, than fantasy, especially at this point.
Yeah. I hate drafting with you guys.
And then Jordan made a good point. Tylen Wallace might be the wide receiver 2 in that group. Yeah, he's talking about the group from last year. Tylen Wallace, I do think he could be the most talented receiver outside of Hollywood Brown and Rashad Bateman very easily.
There's my my running back core. That's what I managed.
Gordon Harrison Mostert. Not too bad for how long.
Honestly, for waiting as long as I did, I'm fine with it.
Yep. Yeah. 9, 10, 11 round. You can do much worse than that.
Absolutely. James Conner, the guy Jordan took. I was between James Conner and Raheem Mostert for that pick right there. I ended up going Mostert. I have a feeling I'll be flip-flopping on which of those guys I'm drafting first for the rest of the offseason. Which would you guys prefer?
Mostert feels like he has the upside. Connor, I feel like I'm not going to say he has any kind of guaranteed anything, but it feels like he's got guaranteed carries in my mind. Chase Edmonds is not going to be a back that gets 20 carries a game. James Conner is going to, I would project him to get more per game. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. But Mostert is probably going to be the guy to start the year, and you want the running backs in the Shanahan offense.
Nice picks, John Luke. Swamp said, well, this was tough to do while working. And Z2 said, feel like I'm going to get shredded in the review. And that was something I took some feedback on the reviews from people watching it. And they said we were too nice to all the teams. We were only saying positive. So we will be talking some more negatives, not necessarily mean, but we will be hitting some negatives in this week's review as well. So
I say be mean.
Z2, I might just shred your team to pieces, Z2.
Be mean, yeah.
You got Kelsey, though, so at least you got that going on. I haven't looked at the rest of it. I won't shred it too bad. David says, hopefully your RB core lasts more than half the season.
That an issue for sure.
And Jordan said, I prefer Connor. Kenyon had 11 TDs last year. Yeah, Kenyon, people don't realize he was pretty productive in that offense. A massive disappointment compared to what I thought he was going to be. But, oh, shoot, I'm on the clock.
Yes. I think I've said this kind of before, but I do think Drake was not forced carries. I think they gave him a contract and they felt like they wanted to make it look like a good thing. And they were making sure to give him those carries because they gave him so much money already. And I know that's not smart to do. And he probably was the most talented just goal line running back that they had. So hey, maybe that's great for James Conner. You know, we don't think Drake's that talented. So if we don't think Conner's that talented, then I do think
I think Drake's a talented running back.
Yeah.
Drake's spot is I'm on the clock here. Drake's spot is weird to me just because he's such the same type of running back as Jacobs. You know, I mean, you get there with volume. You know, they'll score you double-digit touchdowns. Very limited in the passing game. So I mean, like, how is Drake utilized in that offense? It's a weird one for me where he went.
It just feels weird. Like Drake previously was used as a pass catcher, like with Miami is more that third down role. And then Josh Jacobs coming out of the draft, I feel like he was more of a pass catching kind of back. So it's like, it is strange. I agree with you. That's how they've been used the last couple of years. So I don't know what's going to go down here. You know, one of them's got to be more of that pass catcher role though, right?
You would think.
Or Drake's a depth piece, or there to just take away some of the volume from Jacobs. Volume was insane last year, like not just high, like bananas through the roof. This could just be a health thing for Jacobs. You know what I mean? Like someone to come in and take 4 or 5 carries a game.
We did it.
Could be what Drake is. We did it. And Ryan
you guys drafted really good teams. I know we're going to be more mean, but I was just looking over all 4 of your guys' teams, and they're all pretty freaking solid.
NBA also said
go to my season.
More passes equals more TDs for my Marquise Brown. 10th round on him is a steal. I do like the value in the 10th round. I've got no issues drafting Marquise 100%. Brown there. Okay, guys, that is it for Mock Draft Monday, everyone. Thank you for drafting along with us today. Josh is right. There's some very different teams in there, which I loved about it. Like looking through, like we've had weeks, Josh, where you and I went to go do the mock draft review, and every team was kind of the same. Like it was different players, but they all had the same strengths and same weaknesses somehow. These teams feel very different. I'm excited to talk about these a bit more. For those of you that do not already follow Jamie, come on, but go ahead and go do it. He's on Twitter at Jack3600, JAC3600. Jamie, where else can they find your work and your content that you're putting out?
You can find all sorts of DFS stuff going on at fantasyteamadvice.com. And then in the fall, I'll be doing bi-weekly DFS articles and shows for FF diehards, you know, kind of on a routine. I don't know what it's going to be yet. And then Scott Simpson and I are on the Fantasy Team Advice FF Hot Stove Pod every Thursday night at 8:00. We've got Graham Barfield coming on with us this week. And I appreciate you guys having me on. I had a lot of fun. Thanks for letting me share my platform with everybody. I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Jimmy, absolutely. Thank you for coming on, man. We really appreciate it. This was fun.
And then trading makes fantasy fun as well.
Nice. Beautifully.
You snuck that one in there, Josh.
Is there a new phrase you come up with?
Like no, today? Yeah, I've been trying to rock that. I've been coming up with it over the weekend. Trading makes fantasy fun. You like it, Dan?
Yeah, it's good. It's nice.
I might stick with it.
He's got like a whole whiteboard, just mind map with just like the words. And other unrelated thoughts.
I got one of these.
Off of fantasy, there's a bunch of different adjectives. Like,
there we go.
Not quite enough letters to make all the words, but I like.
No, it's not. But trading is fun, you know. And then there's a little smiley face there. Yeah, that's fun.
I like that.
That's funny. I had no idea you had that there, Josh. Once again, Jamie, thank you so much for coming on. And Dan, glad you were able to join today, and we're very excited to have you as a part of the team. This is awesome. So it's official now. Now people in the world know. We'll do a full Twitter announcement so that everyone can know about it. Surprise. Anything else, guys? Jamie, anything else before we jump off?
Go Giants.
Hey.
I almost repeated it just instinctually. That would have been a catastrophe.
We're gonna get you.
Okay, that's it for us today, guys. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Until then, adios, everybody.
You guys.